So my name is Mel or Melissa. I'm with Great Eastern, specifically within Advisors Click. I've been in the industry since June 2021. So that would be around 15 months, 16, 17. Time flies. I think for some reason, I remember it was from Instagram, but I don't actually remember like who reached to who. But I think I just followed Ben for maybe a month or so. And I vividly remember like this was in September last year. So then I think September last year, I actually reached out to him for an initial call lah. So during the call, the end result was basically Ben saying that I was still quite new. There was more that I could try and explore on my own first, and that I wasn't a good fit for AS at that time lah. Which on hindsight, I probably agree because I think back then in September when I reached out, it was coming from a place of like fear, and I think I was maybe trying to latch on to any sort of certainty that I could find. I think like last year on paper everything was good, right? If you only look at like the very quantitative results. But deep down, I knew that like I had a lot of fears about it, lah, like whether or not it's sustainable. Because I think like first year MDRT is a fluke. To me, it's not about like how can I get it this year. It's like how do I make it happen every single year. I didn't feel confident enough in like whatever I had around me lah to be able to get me to where I wanted to be. Yeah, so I think despite doing MDRT my first year, when I reached out again in June this year, I think I really wanted to see like how to make it a sustainable business lah, while being happy, purposeful, authentic, all at once. So why I actually jumped on the call again was because I remember he released this like 45-minute 6-step video. Then I think that was really like the first resource I saw from AS, and it impressed me lah. And because like for me, I'm someone that likes structure and systems. So it was like okay, I'm hooked. Like how do I get more of these? So I think my biggest frustration, right, was that I still felt like a headless chicken. Like I felt that I was not being very efficient and optimal in terms of the way I conducted my appointments, especially with like how you frame, how you set the stage, how you ask the right questions, or even like the format of conducting appointments. Yeah, so I think whatever I've managed to achieve on my own so far is probably just due to like my warm market trusting me. They know that I know my shit. So then naturally like they would entrust me with that. But I don't really want to like always rely on this aspect, right? I do want to see like how can I be all-rounded, right? Such that anyone I meet in future, I am able to like have the same result. Or like at least I will know what to say. So I was kind of just like hoping to prepare for the next year and like to future-proof my own business lah. So I think that's why ultimately like I jumped on the call with Ben, or like I reached out again in June to see what kind of systems I could implement in my business. I already cleared MDRT in June. I mean, there are books out there, right, that you can read to like talk better, ask better questions. But at the same time, it's also very time consuming. And it's like how much time do you want to spend like hitting the wall yourself? Okay, so let's list out the challenges, right? I had a challenge of a lack of structure. Definitely solve that, right? In terms of like, I mean, just based on the modules alone, there's so much structure there. Yeah. And like it literally gives you a step by step of how you should be prospecting, what you should say during your appointments, even how to draw the DEM models, and even what questions to ask. Yeah, like honestly, and with like even the cold market side of things, like all the LinkedIn stuff, I feel like if we were just robots and if we just followed everything that was on the modules, like there's literally no way you would not make it. Like if you're able to do it down to the T lah, I feel. So that's the thing about structure, right? I think the biggest thing for me was also community, right? Because I felt very lonely in terms of the values or mindset I had for my business. But then after joining AS, like I mean, it's just everyone is aligned in the same way. So then it's like a social circle that I would never have found without AS. Yeah. And I think it's very refreshing to know that there are people around us or people around me that are also like-minded lah. Because then I think sometimes that's just what we need, right? To feel better about stuff. I think guidance, which is not really the same as structure. Because I think structure is more of like hard skill stuff. But guidance in terms of like just overall vision maybe, or like overall direction. Like we all need someone that will like push us back on track that kind when we fall. So yeah, definitely there. Yeah, also if I could list out like my 3 biggest challenges back earlier this year, then there are very clear solutions to it lah, which I found through AS lor. Maybe around 5. Now it's around, I would say like maybe 7 to 10. Potentially my income might hit 300. Yeah, 250 lah, 250 or 300. I think when I was first watching the videos, because I do it in order, right? The first thing that struck me was like the idea of really scheduling your day and your week, and like really having a to-do list for the day, that kind of stuff. Especially like for us, right, we get very caught up in very small things, or like some things along the way will just hit us and then like we don't have time for it. So I found like the whole scheduling thing helped a lot, like in terms of like mental headspace and just being on track. But then after that, I think it was just like having a structure towards how I run my business also. Like when it comes to like prospecting, like people always say like, oh, never mind, just call, like have calling night. But it's more than that. Like it's something that happens throughout the day constantly when you are like mindlessly scrolling on social media. Okay, actually I think the two words that I'm looking for is like being intentional with the business. Like everything is well thought out and executed. Like we don't do things aimlessly. Like whatever we do must have an intention. Be it like, you know, when you schedule your stuff, when you make appointments, or even when you like reach out to people for appointments, you know what you say during the appointment. It's all like carefully thought out one. And I think that was what I was looking for lah, because previously it was just like headless chicken ma. Like if I'm in the mood, then I text people. Or like during the appointment, don't really know what to say, then I just wing it and try. Yeah. So there was a lot of uncertainty, and like once I started consuming the modules and like attending calls, I realized that it shouldn't be like that. Like there is a proper way to do things. I think it brings a lot of peace. Like it's a bit more peaceful. Like I'm busier but peaceful at the same time, because with the structure you have sight over everything, so you can see what's moving, and everything is within your control. Because if you never plan for it, then, or like it's something that I plan to do, that's why I'm doing it. In terms of my advisory business, I think at least now when I meet people, I understand the importance of like pre-framing, importance of like asking questions, that kind of stuff. I don't know, I just feel like I'm in a better place with AS. And then I think naturally when you're in a better place, you become a lot more productive also. Yeah, at least I know that, you know, if I do like fall off track for a bit, there is always somewhere or someone I can turn to like guide me back. I think just knowing that there are people that believe in you, that's also quite a huge thing lah, rather than like being all alone in this business.